Welcome to Comics League Gaming, guys. I am Jared, and today we are beginning our playthrough of Justice League Heroes. Alright, I've been looking forward to playing this game. This is going to be really fun. So we're going to start from the very beginning and move on through it. So let's get started. Welcome to Comics League Gaming, sorry about that. I was just checking my thing. So you in the chat, let me know if there's any questions about Justice League that you would like to know as we go, and then we can kick ass with this game. Let's do it. Hey, what's up, hey, what's up, Kirby? Yeah, we're doing Justice League Heroes, finally. I'm going to do New Game Plus. Overwrite. Yeah, let's do this. Alright! I didn't even know this game existed. This is basically DC's Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Greatest heroes. Zatanna.
Here's the lineup.
Mistress of magic.
The default lineup.
John Jones. The shape-shifting Martian.
Hey, what's up, Mac?
Green Lantern. Galactic law enforcement officer.
Yeah, baby.
Flash.
I think I want to say that's Wally because of the time that this would be coming out. This is pre-Flash Rebirth. There's my lady.
The Dark Knight Detective.
Ron Perlman.
Batman. Man of Steel.
Hey, there you go.
Superman. Together, they are the Justice League, the most powerful force for good on this planet. They have never failed in their ongoing mission to protect the people of Earth. Although, to be fair, they've never faced a threat as dire as this one.
Alright. Oh boy, a meteor. In comic books, meteors rarely lead to anything good.
Go ahead. There's a problem in Metropolis.
I'm busy. Call Superman.
You're closer. I called you.
On my way.
The Batwing. Go in front of the moon.
Looking for
Robots, Batman. Lots and lots of robots.
It's BVR, Dawn of Robots, I guess.
I don't remember asking for any help.
Well, since I'm here anyway.
Alright, let's go. Batman and Superman teaming up against Brainiac robots. Yes, so I am using the Death of Superman black suit, and Batman is using the classic blue and gray suit. So let's do this.
Look out!
Careful, Superman. Those weapons are powerful enough to hurt you.
Checkpoint.
More of them.
Alright, let's get started. Alright, rolling out. I like how it even has his hair from the 90s. That's great.
Heads up. There's more of them above.
I see them.
Those tokens I pick up I can use to buy costumes and stuff for all. Do you like Lego DC Supervillains? Yes, I do have that game. I very much enjoy that one a lot. In fact, I can make that the game I alternate to when we beat Cosmic Chaos if you guys want.
Only a
I'm
few
definitely
left.
down to
Keep
play
fighting.
Lego super villains for sure. The hilarious part is that this game actually has the exact same controls as Ultimate Alliance.
Is everyone safe?
The financial district is under attack. We isolated the area, but some people are trapped.
Let's go.
I love the flags that's representing their weapon.
Keep moving. Don't give them time to aim. Let's do it. I'm ready.
We're gonna rescue civilians. You're all safe. Disappear and turn into the tokens that I need to purchase costumes.
Watch your back. They're everywhere.
Thank you, civilians. Luckily, none of you are Lois Lane. There you go. I love it. His little flight run. You're safe now. I can pose. That's cool. So is that pose? Or what was that? Hang on.
My turn.
Switch back. Oh, that's block. That's what that is. Superman blocks just by putting his hands on his hips. That's good.
Keep fighting. Use your heat vision. I need some cover.
Hang on, so there's some civilians over this way. Okay. Alright, so let's go here. Oops. Oops, two this way, so there should be this way. Alright, two civilians are this way. By the way, everyone, I watched Kraven the Hunter. It's not as bad as people say it is. It was way better than I thought it was gonna be. Even though it's technically Kraven in name only. Defeat the Goliath assault robot. Alright, let's go do this. If you see the characters like break into slow motion, it's not the game. It's actually because of the what's the word? Of the backwards compatibility issues with the 360.
That's the last of them.
Not necessarily. We don't know who's behind this.
Can't help you there, Batman. But you're right. There's plenty more robots where those came from.
All
Use
right.
them all the time. They're for manufacturing, but they won't respond to commands. They're out of control.
They resemble the ones Batman and
So they're
Superman were just
Terminators.
fighting.
Okay.
They're everywhere. Please help us.
It'd be hilarious if Batman just grappled onto Superman's ankle and he's like,
We're going to
hanging.
try and get into Star Labs and help those people. Superman out.
Destroyed all platforms.
Impressive. Let's wreck them.
Wonder Woman.
Watch your back. They're everywhere.
Losing my patience.
So how are you guys doing today? What type of comics are you reading? What type of shows are you watching? Tell me. Let's have a discussion. Like I said, I watched Craven, and I'm continuing my Moon Knight read-through and prepping for Super Wonder Legacy this weekend. Should be a good episode. Britt and I are going to be talking about the Winter Soldier and Black Widow. Hey, what's up, Cameron? How you doing?
Attention all personnel. Security.
I think I'll change the costume. So in terms of for Superman, I think I will go with the Kandor costume from the Michael Turner book. Alright, here we go. It's getting through a little bit of lag. Okay, we're through it. This game could have launched these broken lines. Yeah, exactly. It really could have. The thing is, that's kind of what it is. The issue is, it's very limited in what it does and how it works. Because otherwise, yeah, it definitely could have been that. Ah, I got knocked back. Beat it, Type 11 Enforcer. Staring contest, go! Ah! Stop hurting me! Ow! Stop it! Let me get up! Ah, jeez. There you go. Stay down. There you go. Now that's looking good. Kandor outfit looks dope.
Look out!
Point. What's your all's favorite Justice League story? Let's start with that. Mine's Dark Side War because it really weighs in on the Justice League being gods. Plus, it was just such a bombastic, like, story. It felt like a Justice League story. As opposed to when DC and all their wisdom decided to have Tom Taylor replace the Titans, replace the Justice League with the Titans, but they never really felt like the Justice League or faced like Justice League level threats. They were mostly ever facing like Titan threats. Oh no. Don't laser me! Don't laser me! I escaped. Yay. Alright, how about this? Let's do this. Let me just fly through. Tower of Babel because, in my opinion, shows the pros and cons of Bruce contingency plans. Also, it shows why Wonder Bat would never work because Bruce doesn't trust pretty much anyone. If he fully trusted Diana, he wouldn't have contingency plans to take her out. So, that's a good one. Another good one is Rock of Ages by Grant Morrison. That one is really good. And if you look at, like, the plot of, like, the Snyderverse Part 2, it's, like, it's pretty much that. I wouldn't be surprised if Zach was, like, a huge Grant Morrison fan. Because even if you look at, like, the sort of way his thing wraps up, it's very Final Crisis-y.
More of them.
Took out the assemblers. Let's see, what else do we have? They should definitely release it, even though the studio that did this actually shut down. But DC owns the IP; they could hire another studio to like remaster this. Can you imagine this on like modern hardware? Oh my god! Good teamwork. Generate does. Alright. Security vaults.
Get the feeling we're being led right where they want us to go?
Like lambs to the slaughter.
Not exactly.
Greetings, Superman, Batman. The display of skill and power it took to get this far is impressive, if not altogether unexpected.
Brainiac. I was wondering when you'd finally show your face. What are you doing here?
That should be obvious. Destroying you.
Alright. Brainiac boss fight. Let's go. Force field.
You talk too much.
So if I remember correctly, I have to take out these 4 generators.
Hit him hard.
This way. Yeah, that's that. I think that was the Brainiac look of the time. I know it's not the. I think this was when they were trying to go for a more Terminator look for him. a choice. It's not necessarily the best choice, but hey, it's a choice. We killed Brainiac. Okay, something's happening. Okay, zombie Brainiac then. Let's kill a zombie Brainiac. Zombie Brainiac has been dealt with.
We've been had. It's one of his robot duplicates.
Oh no, it's a drone.
I've accessed the security footage,
Another Brainiac robot.
but that one got away with the goods.
He didn't take much. Just whatever was in these two.
A DNA sample, and that meteorite that landed in Utah last month.
Give it to me. I've listened to your telepathic whispers. I've done what you asked. Reveal your secrets to me, Stone. Give me the power you promised.
You know well that your labors are far from complete, Brainiac. You'll get your reward when everything is done, not before.
As you say, my master plan continues to unfold. It's just a matter of time now.
Dave says, excellent game. Only weakness that I wish I had more choice in characters for the stages rather than me. Yeah, that's the thing. It opens up later in the game so you can like select heroes, but that's the thing that's keeping it from truly being DC's Ultimate Alliance. Because again, the thing about Ultimate Alliance is that you can build your own heroes. Plus, only having 2 as opposed to 4. Because I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it's a fun game to play.
They've got their hands full. We can handle whatever Brainiac dishes out.
Agreed. I'll pre-program the teleporter pad.
We don't need the teleporter. I'm magic, remember?
So now we're doing Zatanna and Martian Manhunter. Yeah, that's not hitting. He looks like an Iron Man villain. Yeah, I know. So I have the classic 90s Martian Manhunter and the default Zatanna. I think I'll play as Z.
It's showtime!
And to shoot fireballs. I can turn everyone into a rabbit. We're doing this.
Always good to have a little magic on your side.
There you go. Save this over here. With the power of magic.
Watch your backside, John. Robots and
Brainiac seems to have been...
See if the captain needs further assistance. Okay.
It's all right now, officer. Everyone is safe.
Not that we don't appreciate the rescue, but on your planet, you must have a different definition of the word safe. Those things are all over the park attacking people.
We'll stop them.
At least now we can see what they're doing.
Hurting the people in the park. But for what purpose?
Nothing good. Let's bust them up.
Flag, flag. People are being possessed, so I gotta knock them out in order to free them. I'm gonna play as John Jones.
Prove to be worthy of
Mind power. I shall become Alien Man.
They're under some sort of spell. Try not to hurt them.
I am back to being John Man. I have a cloaking device. Mental blast. Interesting choice in heroes, by the way. Zatanna and Martian Manhunter.
Now I'm feeling it.
Nathan Post says, I think a new DC Ultimate Alliance type game will go a long way to building back goodwill. It wouldn't take as much. Yeah, exactly. It's a way to do it relatively cheap, but you would be giving the fans something that they have been calling for years. That is money in the bank. Plus, it's an IP that is right. Plus, you can farm out and have DLC characters like Ultimate Alliance did. You could have like a New Gods pack. Or if there's any comic events that you really want to like push that you have planned, you can just make that a DLC like with like a couple of levels, maybe some key characters and costumes. There you go, you're good to go. But we all know what's easy and like makes sense is not necessarily always something DC does. Martian Manhunter tells that cop, fine, I'll let you do your job, and then flies away. I know. Like if I go this way, it's gonna be an area of the map that's not explored. So let's go that way. Oop, something here. There's 200 shields, and I can buy costumes with those.
Choose something to drop first.
Take them down.
Okay, so this way. Oh, here we go. Alright. To the brown stones.
What's wrong? Have you been injured?
Ah! Like that would work.
Skillfully done.
Please, hold your applause to the end of the show.
Slowing, lag. I think it's because if there's like a lot of stuff happening on screen,
Let's go.
the game kind of slows down. That's probably what that is. It's slow right now.
Careful. Their stairs are covered with psychomorphic nanoparticles.
Meaning if we take enough hits.
Gamer's like practically going in slow motion right now. Hey, it's on Zack Snyder mode. The WB has practically done nothing but drop the ball. Yeah, exactly. And they're saying that like, oh man, if DC we're putting a lot of faith in Superman, and I'm like, the fact that they're considering moving Saffron to be the head of DC, to be the head of WB Films, says a lot, because it's like, Plus the fact, here's what you guys have to think about, is like, let's say they move Saffron to Luca and Abdi's job. What happens to Gunn being the CEO of DC Studios, because he was open in saying that he only took the job because Peter would be on the
Watch your backside, Sean.
business side. Now, would they make Gunn do both jobs? Because I feel like if they make Gunn do both jobs, he walks. Can be Doom, but more widespread. So the second is OMAC, and the third Dark Side War. There you go! That is an excellent idea, Cameron. That was an excellent trilogy idea. I would so play those games. You basically keep upping the stakes. That's how you do it.
Proved to be worthy.
Alright, we are going underground.
I don't get it. Brainiac's using robots to gather people to change into human bees? Not his style.
We have to assume he's not working alone.
And that his tag team partner's waiting for us inside. Wanna do this?
Most assuredly.
Power's out down here.
Or being diverted to other purposes.
feeling it.
Or the Exterminator. The Martian Exterminator. That's what they should rename it too.
Concentrate your attacks. They will try to overwhelm you.
They said that would be awesome. Events like National Core, Black Lantern should be part of the storyline VS2. Yeah, you could do those for like DLC, particularly involving the lanterns, and then you can add in as characters the different like name lanterns, like obviously Sinestro, but you also have Kilowog, Saronic, Natu, Arquillo, all those guys. That'd be dope. Atrocitus, Saint Walker. There's you could make an Ultimate Alliance game that's just lanterns in and of itself, but you would need the other characters to like really hype it up. You can also have as DLC all the different crises. OMAC be a consequence of Doom. Yeah, exactly. There's any number of things you could do that would be awesome. Again, goes to show a DC. Yeah, exactly. Hire us, DC. We'll fix your entire company. Hell, I'll do it for free. Although I would like a job at DC. Put me in charge of Wonder Woman. I'll fix her. I'll remove the stink of Tom King.
Something to talk. That feels...
Yeah, that would. Yeah, just you have the entire Jeff Johns run. There you go. Just do that. Literally, just do that, and you're good to go. That is a trilogy of games in and of itself. You can make an entire Mass Effect style RPG of just that. And you're like a random lantern that was like in the background participating in all these big events. And like all of the people you like take out come back as the Black Lanterns and Blackest Night as a way of going full circle with it. Become a rabbit. Oh no. The rabbit has become self-aware. Alright, let's go. You're inside the Queen's hive.
Bees just creep me out. Too many to fight. We need to make some space.
think I'll change the skin for Zatanna. I'll put her. What costume? I have the classic one from Identity Crisis. I think I'll do the Identity Crisis Zatanna. Is that the one? Yeah, Identity Crisis. There you go. But I'll do Identity Crisis. Go back to Secret. So it'll change in the next map. That's where the costume changes. I would consult with DC if they sing a comp box every month. I don't know if they still do that, but yeah, they do to their talent from what I saw. Yeah, if they send me something like every month for all the stuff I contribute on, I wouldn't say no to that. I would take that as a form of payment. You just have to send me comics. That's all you need. I'll take that as payment. Pay me with comics, we're good to go. I will consider that fair. For the rest of my life, just send me comics. And give me, make me a creative consultant on Wonder Woman, I will fix her.
That's all we can carry.
So many enemies.
Prove to be worthy.
Let's go. The Queen's Chamber. Honestly, you're fastly becoming a social media Wonder Woman. That's sure to get DC's attention. Eventually, knows again. First off, Dave, I appreciate that. And second off, yeah, I mean, if they offered me the chance to write Wonder Woman, Britt and I would take that in a heartbeat. I'm like, hire me and I'll at least do my best, and I'll respect the fan base and what came before. That's my promise. Just give me a chance, and I think I can make Wonder Woman a larger property than she is. A lot better than Tom King. You know how I know? I read a crap ton of Wonder Woman comics. Unlike him, who straight up lies. There's the Identity Crisis Zatanna with the cape. There she is. Love it. And me.
That goes with us.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
I'm gonna fly around because she's gonna start blasting stuff. Oh no, bees! Not the bees! Not the bees! Oh
Oh no, I've been hit. NJ, I have no idea what happened to Vanessa, honestly. I don't even think Tom King knows. I really don't know. Because, yeah, they haven't talked about her since Rebirth. I'll have to ask Britt about that, but yeah, I have no idea where any of these characters are. And he got the Silver Swan completely wrong, where he turned her into like a stalker, and I'm like, that's never been Silver Swan either way. She's never been that obsessive, in love creature. I don't think even the other Silver Swan has been. I honestly have no idea. And that's the problem. When DC brings in these writers to write for Wonder Woman, they bring in writers too much that are focused on getting royalties and like creating new characters like King with Trinity. And they're not focused on, because here's the thing. Here's why Trinity doesn't work. Because her role in the stories, like her story arc, can be fulfilled by the already existing Wonder Girls. That's it. She is worthless. Same thing with like any other character that they can introduce. Work with what you have. Which is why, if I were to write Wonder Woman, I would make a big deal for like the first arc or two. Britt and I say Britt and I because I would try to have her be my co-writer. Britt and I would make the promise that we would not invent any new characters or concepts. We would work with what Wonder Woman has, because you know what? Wonder Woman has a fantastic world, and it's a fantastically underutilized world. Like, there was no reason why there shouldn't be characters like that. Yeah, she was not in. I don't think Julia was even in the new 52. I think she was in Rebirth once, NJ. I think. As far as I know, she just vanished.
Brainiac's still out there, and we don't know what he's up to.
I'll have to ask Britt what happened, because yeah, I'm wondering about that too.
I want a piece of Brainiac.
Not yet. But I'm detecting something else. A powerful electromagnetic signature that...
Batman, come in. Can you hear me? Lost the signal.
It's worse than that. The whole communications grid is being
That's something great about this game.
I'm triangulating
featuring Zatanna instead of a more established group. Yeah, exactly. They gave you the rest of the choices. They could have easily. They were one member away from just making this the cartoon league, but they were like, nah, let's not. You can play as Hawkgirl. She's an unlockable character, but the default story character is Zatanna, which is actually really cool. So what's my lineup? Green Lantern and Flash. Dope.
Take it to him.
I'm fighting frogs. Lantern Punch! This is already more realistically Lantern than Tom King's Lanterns. You have people say Clark, Bruce, and Dick are the Trinity, or can't name a single villain outside of Cheetah. Yeah, Wonder Woman has great villains. I'll name you 3 Wonder Woman villains right now that aren't Cheetah, alright? Dr. Psycho, Gigantic, Grail. I'll go even further. You even have... Let's show who else. Alright, hang on. You have... There was an Amazon one. I forget. It's a lot of stuff going through my head right now. But the point is, you could use a lot of the villains. It's just the problem is DC doesn't use them. It's because you have too many guys focused on making new characters instead of actually, like, using them. That's the thing. If you're gonna say that Diana is a member of the Trinity, if she is a pillar of our company, okay, frickin' act like it. Because you're not doing that. If anything, I'm starting to think that DC legit does not like Wonder Woman. That's the only way this makes sense.
Brainiac, this is the key.
Here's another Wonder Woman villain, Apollo. At least in the new 52 side. You could technically count Darkseid. You could count,
I don't care why. I hired you to do a job. If you expect to get
that snowman guy. I forget his name, but there was a snowman villain. You could count any of the evil Amazons. There's any number of villains you could pick.
You spoke to me like that.
Those things are very creepy.
I have freed you from your extra.
Oh, the key. Grant Morrison villain.
Unless you want to go back, destroy those men.
Launch command and control transfer initiated. Sending encrypted data packets. Please stand by.
What's up, Legion? You can unlock Hal joining Kyle Rayner 2 in this game, the Lantern in this game, no willpowers. Yes, exactly. Manister Blizzard is his name. Yes, okay. Thank you. I figured that's what it is. Alright. Come on. Alright.
Why do bad guys always have to be so hard? Seriously? This is grossing me out.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Man, that's the other thing that NJ says. I want Queen Clea back so bad as leader of Villainy Entry School. How about Vanessa Kappa frickin' Tellus? That's another good one. It's Wonder Woman's Lex Luthor, and they don't use her. Good on Kelly Thompson for putting her in Absolute, which Absolute is like unbelievably good. Like, wow. This is what happens when you have a creator that actually likes Wonder Woman. I remember Green Arrow was the best unlockable character. You just nukes everything with splitting arrows. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, Flash can go faster. There you go.
Now we're getting somewhere.
And this game was really challenging. Yeah, you have to hit the buttons in the right order fast. I never do well with time trial.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I'll take it.
Could be a flash a little bit.
Are you seeing pockets of this costume? Can't get it anymore.
This is not me moving slow because of the game, it's because of the green goo. pinball. It's so flash.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Lantern, take over. I can destroy submarine. Or 30 yellow submarine.
That's the last.
Think so, huh? How long you been doing this again?
Missile on course. All systems
Killer Frost.
Good. And it shouldn't be any trouble shutting it down.
Batman. I was told some of the Justice League might show up.
Hey, it's Ventress! Apparently she really let herself go and she became a freeze woman.
I'm a mass murderer. With any luck, I'm about to set a record.
Not today. Back off from those controls.
That's so cute. Between you and me, I did get a little something extra from Brainiac for my troubles. He gave me the technology to make these. Now tell me that isn't cool.
Cameron says, which one is this, 1, 2, or 3? Okay, Killer Frost. I think it's Caitlyn, I want to say. They don't really specify which one. But I love that question. Which one is this?
Plug the gateways. Don't let any more in.
That's up to me, Alcor. Please at 12 o'clock. I'll take it from you.
Okay, goo. The goo.
You see any pockets in this costume? Don't carry anymore. Hey, watch it! You almost hit me!
Someone overrode command and control of our nuclear missiles. There's been a launch.
From where?
Oh no, a nuke!
There's no way of telling. It could be anywhere in the world.
Same for pinpointing the target, I suppose.
Da. And with global communications still jammed, that missile might as well be invisible.
Just once, I'd like to get some good news.
How about this? If you can get me inside, I can restore communications. I could track it then, but I don't have clearance to recall it.
You have more immediate troubles. I've locked you out of the control room and opened a portal to a dimension filled with poison gas. Watch them
Nice, let's save people from poison gas and then we'll call it a night. Actually, you know what? Let's call it a night now. Alright. Oh, no, those things are scary. Alright, let's call it a day. Alright. So that was the beginning of... by the way, it was confirmed by the artist that the Amazon next Armistice project was a beatdown. It got me thinking, oh, should there next time? No, NJ, here's the thing about that. Pride variant covers don't really mean what you think they mean, because here's the thing. Superman was on the Pride cover for the Superman books with his son. Does that mean Superman is bi? That's my point. If she actually shows up in the Pride anthologies, that's when it means something. Which she, as far as I know, has never done that. Plus the fact, I've said many times, according to DC editorial, a writer can say whatever they want about a character. As long as editorial does not acknowledge it, it's not true. As is the case with Diana being bi. That's just the way it is. From what I've heard from people that I know that are familiar with it or have worked for DC, what they have said is that DC doesn't acknowledge her being bi. Case in point with Jazia Axelrod talking about how they explicitly say you cannot use Diana in any of the Pride anthologies or the Pride, books. Because here's the thing. If DC thought that Diana was actually bi, don't you think they would push her as such a lot more than they do? Yeah, to be clear, I could care less either way. I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up for something that, as far as I know, is not going to happen in terms of that. That's it. A variant cover doesn't mean anything, particularly a variant cover of the main book. Plus the fact that looks nothing like Diana. He said the other Amazon was Io. Where's her eye patch? Nubia's hair is wrong, and Artemis's hair is not orange. So, what? So really, it's like the artists can say whatever they want. But Invincible episode 8 was amazing. Yes, Invincible was so good. I loved it. But NJ, that's really what I want to leave you with this week is that's kind of the secret non-secret of DC is that as far as I know, editorial does not consider her bi or in any way LGBT. That's it. That's it, because they know the minute you confirm it either way, the minute you confirm it, that limits the amount of countries that you can sell her merch or release her movie in. So that's what a lot of these fans are not taking into account. Is it right? I don't think so. But that's just practically what the reasoning is. It's the minute they do that, you then cannot market a movie in China or any of the countries that you would need that to be as successful as the studios need them to be. That's where the movies have to be marketed. Editor-in-chief is the problem. Not necessarily the editor-in-chief. It's just DC in general and WB. Because WB themselves doesn't do that. Because here's the thing, NJ. We can agree that Wonder Woman has a sales problem, that she sells less. If DC comes out and confirms her being bi or gay, that further alienates her audience, and that leads to even less people reading her. The notion that the amount of she would gain fans, don't get me wrong, but the amount of fans that would show up for the book if they confirmed her being bi is not going to be as successful as people think it is. Do you know how I know that? They've done this before, and it has not worked one time. Also, pay attention to which Wonder Woman is on the merch is on all the Pride merch. Nubia. That should tell you that, according to
Nubia is used by DC editorial as the gay Wonder Woman. Because otherwise, they would just put Diana on the merch. That's why. Again, it's not in any way... I don't agree with it. Personally, for me, I'm just going off of what DC editorial says. Because I'm like, ultimately, it doesn't matter what the... Again, the fan base caring, saying, well, the writer says this, the writer says this. Yeah, that's fine. The writer can say whatever they want. If you're going off of variant covers for the main series mean absolutely squat when it comes to that. Again, case in point, Clark and Lois were on the variant cover for Superman. Are they all of a sudden gay or bi? They're not, right? So that's why I don't take that into account. From what I've heard from like Axelrod and all that stuff, and Axelrod is like the writer that was like writing a lot of those Pride like reference books from DK that get released, like those encyclopedias on DC characters. And when those like came out, someone asked her, I think it was Octavia, shout out to Octavia, she asked, is there any chance of like Diana showing up in this? And then Axelrod, I quote, this is a quote, says, based on my conversations with people that are in charge of Diana, no. So that tells me it's a conscious effort to ignore that. I think that really when Rucka said that was just him running his mouth. Case in point, they have never referenced it since. That's the thing about DC in general. If a writer says something, an editorial can't like straight out retcon it out, but doesn't want to acknowledge it, they will ignore it completely. And from what extrapolating from what Axelrod says, it sounds like they're intentionally telling people, do not do this, because the minute you do that, we can't sell her merch overseas. That's it. If it made sense from a business perspective for them to acknowledge that, or to really finalize that and like canonize it, like firm editorial comes out and canonize it, if it made business sense to do that, if they were going to gain, like if all of a sudden, let's say Wonder Woman was going to make Batman numbers, if they did that, they would have done that already, but they're not. And quite honestly, it wouldn't. So I can see from a business perspective why they wouldn't do that. So that's just my 2 cents on it. But it's like, let me put it this way, it's like even the writers can write her a certain way, and they can leave like hints, like the way like panels are set up. But as far as DC editorial is concerned, and it's not just an editor, it's not just if you replace the editor in chief, then it'll happen. No, it's a thing at DC. DC is not Marvel when they can just change it. Plus, when Marvel does that, they get mass backlash. And I don't think DC wants that type of mass backlash, particularly when they're trying to sell the company. When like Zaslav was trying to sell the company, they don't want any bad publicity. So that's, for the most part, where I think DC's heads are at. It's not necessarily right or wrong. Hopefully one day that will change. It's not... you can hope that, NJ, but it's not going to change. It's just not. There's too many people at DC. It's not one person. And again, that's not going to give Wonder Woman the numbers boost she needs for you to do that. That has not happened once. I think that what that is, honestly, I'm going to tell you this right now. With that whole push, that's really just fans headcanoning, thinking if DC did this, all of Diana's problems would be changed, would be fixed. It wouldn't. It just wouldn't. That's it. No, I'm just checking. That's really the way DC works. And is it sad? Yeah, but that's just the way DC is going to work. Because it's the same reason why they'll never like directly retcon out the King Wonder Woman run. They'll ignore a lot of stuff, and I've had conversations with people that have observed DC in the past, and what they have said is what's up, Throthrough, we're just about to wrap up. I've talked to people that are familiar with DC, and they said, even with the Trinity thing, if it doesn't work, they will never reference it again. By the way, it doesn't necessarily just push Nubia and stop trying to appeal to Diana problem solve. Yeah, exactly. That's why if you notice again, they put Nubia on all the Pride merch and leave Diana completely out of this. If DC considered Diana bi, don't you think they would put her on the Pride merch, like full on do the Pride merch? Or lesbian Diana because it doesn't work. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't lead to big sales. That's what you kind of have to understand, particularly for a character that is as like, I don't know why that's happening. Particularly for a character that's as like, that struggles with sales as Diana does. They're not going to risk doing anything that's going to further alienate the audience. Because the minute they just haphazardly change it, yeah, fans are going to jump ship. Whether or not it's a severe amount of fans that would jump ship, we can have that debate. But according to DC, from DC's perspective, it's not worth the risk. So they'll never come out and straight up say Diana's straight, but they'll never come out and say she's LGBT. They just won't. And I wish it were different, but it's not going to happen. I'm just going to tell you that. And this is, I've observed DC for 4 years. They're ruining one of the main aspects. It's not what. Here's the thing. That's not one of the main aspects of her character, though. That's not one of the main aspects of her character. So let's talk about that. If that was, yes, it factored in on like Golden Age, but DC heavily kept trying to push back against Marston putting that in there. So that's really not a main part of her character. And you could say because she comes from an island of only women, like in the Red Sun, but that's a very simplistic way of looking at it. Because when you look at like why The Last Man answered this, when the dude shows up in an all-women prison, some of them became lesbians, not all of them did. And when asked about it, they said just because we're all women doesn't mean we're all lesbians. That's assuming that everyone on the island is a lesbian too, which that's straight. If they're following real world logic, that's not true. Can I say the majority? Yes, I would say the majority of the Amazons. That's right. Plus, the mythological Amazons weren't even lesbians. I got news for you. If you look into the mythology, they were straight women. There were some gay people, but as far as I know from my own independent research, because I've looked at that, it's not necessarily as cut and dry. If anything, if you want to look at how the Amazons were, I hate to say it, Azzarello's run is the way the Amazons kind of were. Not the DC Amazons, the mythologically accurate Amazons, that's the way they were. So that's kind of, that's my 2 cents on it. I'm like, if it's not going, regardless of sales, if it's not going to lead to a big sales boost for the character, I wouldn't do it. Particularly for a character that struggles, that will further, like, really hurt the character. That's it. That's what I'm going to tell you that. That's... Again, that's kind of the sad point on that, but I'm like... So that's really that. And to be clear, in your own headcanon, yeah, you could say Diana's buying your headcanon. That's fine. That's your right as a fan. It makes no difference to me. But in terms of DC actually doing it, it's not really going to happen. There are plenty of stuff that I would love to be canon or non-canon, but we have to think realistically of the company itself, because it's not, because ultimately, here's the thing. This is kind of the mantra of my channel. Harley Quinn is bi and look at her success. Yeah, but that's the thing. They never really acknowledge in the movies. They never acknowledge in the movies because they know the minute they do, that's not going to work. Plus, you could argue Harley Quinn is not as successful as she used to be. Plus, here's the thing about that also, NJ. That's like saying because Batman and Superman have kids, Wonder Woman needs a kid. It doesn't just because it works for one character doesn't mean it works for the other character. Again, it's kind of the way I'm gonna factor that. And again, to be clear, you can have your own canon, and that's fine. That's your right as a fan. I have my own as well. Just in terms of official DC canon, they're not going to do that. They're just not going to acknowledge that. That's just the way it's going to work. You can't expect the same conditions for Harley Quinn to exist for Wonder Woman. Plus Wonder Woman, because Harley Quinn is also a Bat-adjacent character. Bat-adjacent characters have additional, I call it Bat armor. Those characters are going to sell regardless. So it's like, you can't expect everyone to be able to have the same status quo and stuff as Batman. Plus, yeah, exactly, Cameron. Harley's not exactly a flex because even she is getting too oversaturated. But again, that's just my 2 cents on it. And NJ, you are totally fine to have your headcanon be Diana's bi. Totally fine. I have no issues with that. But in terms of DC Comics, they're not going to do it. Anyway, I think it's a good place to leave it. So, hope you guys enjoyed my first playthrough of Justice League Heroes. This is going to be this and Cosmic Chaos are going to be the games I'm going to alternate into. Can't they include that in the books? But on no, they can't, because here's the other thing, NJ. Wonder Woman is one of the faces of DC. They cannot do that. It's different with Harley Quinn because DC does not consider her. Consider Harley the face of DC. Like, the face of DC are Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And if they do that and acknowledge Wonder Woman as the face of the company, that could also affect their ability to market other characters. Because you could have like say you have a foreign country that's not friendly to LGBT people, but still wants DC content. They could decide, okay, if one of the faces of your company is bi, we're not going to let you do all your other stuff except for maybe Batman. So you're not thinking of the second and third order effects. DC doesn't care about her. We know that. Yeah, but DC tries to market her as long as DC still markets her as the Trinity by NJ, that is sadly true. DC doesn't care about her. But the point is, they still market her as the third member of the Trinity, as the face of the company. As long as it doesn't matter if they inwardly market her that way, as long as they outwardly do it, they are never going to, they cannot afford to do that. Because that could affect the other sales of the characters. Yeah, they try to care about her. That's it. That's it. That's what I'm going to tell you on that. I wish it were different. I wish they gave more of a crap about Wonder Woman. Trust me. But it's like, they don't. But so in terms of what you guys can expect for Comics League, I'm going to be going live in about an hour to discuss the Sony Marvel movies and what they did right, what they didn't get right. And then for Super Wonder Legacy, Britt and I are going to be comparing Superman and Wonder Woman's relationship to Winter Soldier and Black Widow. So we're finally tackling that Marvel couple. And in terms of movie night, it's going to be Justice League. It's going to be that Justice League Time movie. I think it's called like Crisis in Time, or like, actually, you know what? I'll look it up because that's actually a really good animated movie. Justice League Time animated movie. Let me see that JLA Adventures Trapped in Time. That's what we're going to do. And in terms of like Wonder Woman Wednesday, I'm still thinking about what I want to do with that. But in terms of that, stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane, Steve Trevor, Steve Never. She belongs to General Zod. He belongs 6 feet in the ground. Zois the Maxibat for life.